Good evening, Vancouver. Welcome back to Canucks After Dark. It is Monday, October 28th, and we are coming off a pretty tough week for the Canucks after a really good week last week when we talked about 3 straight wins for the Canucks, and now we're talking about losing 4 to 5 games and the one win coming in sort of an overtime, sort of stressful one, and obviously coming off a loss to the New York Rangers tonight. But as always, joined by my co-host Canuck Clay. How are we doing today, Clay?
Parker, good to see you. Glad we're back, even on a different night, but we made it work because we changed it because one of us, or not both of us, were busy last night, and we said, why don't we do a post game? Because we're going to be talking about a Canucks win. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the Canucks do not know how to score on Jonathan Quick, which has been, they were saying on the broadcast, has been a theme historically. He has a 500 record against the Canucks, but has like a 922 because he played for some pretty low scoring Kings teams, obviously during his career. It was the JT Miller return night, so we're thinking, hey, if the Canucks can get a win here, it's gonna be big. There's gonna be some excitement. We're hoping for a good week from the Canucks coming into this. They were 4-2, but a tough week where they are now 5-6, and even their one win came in overtime and very well could have gone either way. Once you get to overtime, it takes one shot. So not the week the Canucks were hoping to have.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. By just delaying by one day, it counts as 8. Now it's 8 days between shows. And you're telling me they played 5 times since the last time we chatted?
Yeah. So our last show was Monday the 20th. They played Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and today.
That's unreal.
It's this tightened Olympic schedule. Even looking ahead, they have 2 rest days. Wednesday they play against Chicago next week on the 5th. Then they play on the 8th, the Saturday, but then that's a back-to-back. They play on the 9th as well. So there's really no rest coming up for this team until kind of late November. They got a couple of 2-day rests in a row, 3 2-day rests in a row at the end of November. They play the 20th, 23rd, and 26th, and then they've got a back-to-back right after that. And then they've got another couple days of rest, and they got another back-to-back right after that. So the scheduling is very odd, but it just wasn't the week we were hoping to see. There were some bright spots. Pettersson had a couple of good games.
Yes.
He's still falling a lot, but he had a couple of good games. We obviously had a trade that we'll talk about, and a player who we've seen get a little bit of ice time. Demko is still Demko. And we had the debut of Tom Wielander. So we have a lot of different things to talk about. We're not going to talk about all 5 games. That would be crazy. That would take us an hour and a half, and it's already my bedtime.
Yes, thank you. So you did bump tonight's late because Tuesday night is traditionally my bowling night. By the way, Parker, I don't know if this gives any solace. I bowled very well. Our team bowled well. I had my best day, and I won a bit of money. That was my son Jacob that was sneaking my little money at the start. But that's great for me and not good for anyone else. By the way, if you're in the chat as people pile in, say hi to Fangirl. Fangirl's been so good. She's just waiting for someone to talk to her in the chat. Thank you, Fangirl, for being here. I know there's like 30 of you, 30 others in here, but no one's saying nothing. So talk to Fangirl, keep her company as we go through at least 2 of these 5 games. Thank you, Fangirl.
Thank you. I think we'll obviously start on tonight's game, and then we'll go backwards a little bit.
Sure.
I really figure we'll talk about this game. We'll touch on the Oilers game on Sunday where they got the win in overtime, and then really we can talk about Lucas Reichel. We can talk about Pettersson. We can talk about Wilander's debut. I know you were bowling, so you didn't get a chance to watch much of this game.
Yes.
And frankly, you didn't miss too much. And I'm going to pull up the old analytics because I like to see if what I saw represents what actually happened out there. And
that's
today
fair.
Today was a big day for hockey. So the natural stat trick guys, I imagine, are busy because basically every single team was playing.
Every team played, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And just a quick glance at natural stat trick totally backs up what I was about to say. The Canucks showed up for 20 minutes tonight, and it was the final 20 minutes. Which gave them a chance in this game because it's not like the Rangers were fantastic. The first period was pretty low event, nothing super exciting.
Yeah.
If we just look at 5-on-5, because that's really what I care the most about analytically, everything was even in the first period. Expected goals were 60-40 for the Rangers. High danger chances were even. Shot attempts were even. Shots were even. Like it was a pretty even first period. Shots actually ended up being 7-4.
Okay.
Which, 4 shots is not good, right? We talk about Rick Tocchet hockey, and he's in Philadelphia now, but it's still, kind of feels like there's still some remnants there.
Did I hear they started Evander Kane with Petey against the Miller line to start the game?
That sounds correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just curious. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And, Zibanejad scores late in the first, and this one is an Evander Kane mistake, I guess.
Oh no.
So it's a pretty normal breakout for the Rangers out of their own zone. Elias Pettersson, the defenseman, pinches in on Panarin to try to hold the line, and it sort of bumps out to Evander Kane, who just fires it back into the zone.
Yeah.
Elias Pettersson, a little bit slow to get back defensively because Kane is covering for him, and it's basically a 2-on-2. It's Zibanejad and Cooley on Myers and Kane. Cooley and Myers are basically matched up, and then it is Zibanejad and Kane who are matched up with Jake DeBrusk and Pettersson, Elias Pettersson, back checking. Zibanejad just cuts to the middle of the ice in the neutral zone, plays it over to Cooley, and just burns Evander Kane. And turns a 2-on-2 into a 2-on-1. Myers takes Cooley because I assume he figures he can either block the pass or that 91 would have Zibanejad, fires it back post, and Zibanejad chops it in. So it's just a foot speed issue there.
Right. So, Parker, I did see this, right? Even though I was bowling, I was watching highlights, blah, blah, blah. And I did see how a 2-on-2 quickly became a 2-on-1. Now I know how. Are you fine with the way Myers played that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I am. It's 2-on-1s are tricky because it really depends on the level you're playing at, and it depends on what your goalie wants, what your coaches want.
Yeah.
'Cause there's a couple things to consider here. One is Myers assumes it's a 2-on-2, probably, because by the time, and this is a thing at high level hockey now where defensemen have always skated backwards. Really what you want to do as a defenseman nowadays is you want to skate forwards as much as possible. So if you have Cooley going down the left wing, you want to get the angle on him and then pivot so he has nowhere to go and you can skate forwards and you can keep up with him. So he is making that pivot to go to Cooley when that puck comes over, and Kane just gets burned. Also for Myers, he can let Will Cooley walk in to the hash marks basically inside the faceoff circle and have a grade A chance on Demko if he was just to take the pass away, or he can go at Cooley while trying his best to still be in that passing lane, which is what he did, and it gets through. It's one of those things where you wish he would get a piece of it, but I don't think Myers played it poorly. I think Evander Kane just needs to not get burned there.
Is Cooley
it's
a
not
righty?
like Zibanejad's super fast anymore.
Right. Is Cooley a righty or a lefty?
I don't know.
I was just curious if
I'm not
if
watching the clip.
Oh, yeah,
I'm watching the visualizer and
the visualizer doesn't give
it.
handedness. Yeah. Okay. No, that's fine. I obviously you play hockey more than I do. You're a defenseman, so you would appreciate that. So that was more on Kane and the pit and everything that happened prior to the actual pass across to Zibanejad then.
Yeah, and Cooley's a lefty, so he was.
Oh,
he could protect the puck easily from Myers coming down the left wing, and Myers just has to try to get a stick in there and break it up, which he did, and Kane got burned.
And I know the final score is 2-0, so we're like one empty net goal to talk about, but that means Demko. Well, Quick didn't allow anything. That's the only one that Demko allows. So another strong game for Demko, obviously.
Yeah, there's nothing for Demko to do there. And Demko was phenomenal in this game again. A lot of grade A chances that he made really good stops on. At even strength tonight, the expected goals for the Rangers were 2.58. You bring in the power play, another 1.12. So in all situations, 3.7 expected goals for the Rangers, and they got 1 on Demko.
Unreal.
So that is really, Demko 2.7 goals saved above expected just tonight. And he was fantastic. There's a bunch of scramble plays in front that he was just locked in on. Nothing was getting through. Just no offensive support because, frankly, Jonathan Quick wasn't really tested till the third, but he was fantastic once he was tested.
Okay. All right. So I'm sure the other guys will come out. So Demko, obviously one of the best Canucks players. Did we look threatening at all, Parker, to score?
Not until the third. Second period, and I'm going all situations. And you can look at shot attempts, right? First period, 18-14 for the Rangers, pretty even. They had a couple more shots. Second period, the Canucks did nothing. They had 25 shot attempts against to 12. Actual shots were 11-7. But scoring chances in the first period, 14-6 for the Rangers. In the second period, 15-6 for the Rangers. High danger chances, 7-3 in the first period for New York, 7-1 in the second period. Expected goals in all situations, 1.5 to 0.6 in the first, 1.3 to 0.4 in the second. So the Canucks didn't show up for the first 40 minutes of this game. And then the third period, the Canucks were very good. 30 shot attempts to 10 in the third period. Shots actually were 12-7. Rangers were doing a really good job of getting in shooting lanes, but scoring chances 15-6 in favor of the Canucks. High danger 6-4. Expected goals 1.4 to 0.9. So basically what the Rangers had done to the Canucks the first two periods, the Canucks did to the Rangers in the third. And they got close to tying it a couple of times. Couple of big things though is they lost Besser for 10 minutes or so. He took a puck to the mouth, and we thought he got high sticked originally. He's down, and then the camera is zoomed in, like this is the zoom in on his face while he's down on the ice, and you just see him like spit, and it's just blood on his jersey. And it's like, okay, that's tough. So he got stitched up, I assume, came back. I didn't even notice this, but Connor Garland didn't come out for the third period.
Yeah,
so
I saw that
another loss for the Canucks, and I can only imagine having him out there in the third, late trying to score, instead of some of the guys who were out there late trying to score. Probably would have been nice to have at that point.
Do we know how Garland got hurt?
I missed it. I'm sure. I'm sure it's findable, or maybe someone here saw it, but I went for a walk at the intermission and I came back and he wasn't there.
Someone in the chat, tell us how Connor Garland got hurt. Someone let us know. I know Parker is madly trying to find it right now.
All the tweets I can see is just he will not return to tonight's game. And then as of 22 minutes ago, no update. He's still being evaluated.
Line change said something to do with the hit. Did he get hit, line change, or did he do the hitting? I know Tyler was at the game, so that's cool.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Now, the other thing I'll mention. So, the third period, they came on pretty well. They pulled the goal with like 3 minutes left, which is pretty aggressive, down one. And they had a few good chances, mostly from the point, but a couple backdoor feeds that almost worked. And then, just sort of a play at the Rangers blue line. Petey went for a shot pass at Besser's stick. So Besser came to the front of the net, went for the tip, put it just high. Rangers cleared it up the wall, and it sort of bounced out to to Carrick. And he just sort of kind of had it on the wall and just threw it towards the net. Pettersson very clearly thought it was going wide. And wanted the icing. And so he turned and had his stick pretty close to him to sort of make it look like, I really tried to get it, ref. That's icing. But it went right by him and just snuck inside the post, which is really unfortunate because I'm also looking at it as like, well, you could have just taken the puck and tried to gain the zone again. But honestly, Pettersson had an okay game. That was just sort of a bad ending to it. But the Canucks just couldn't score, and they didn't create enough to score, right? Like expected goals in all situations for them were 2.4. That feels generous. And half of that came probably in the last 5 minutes. Because they really didn't create anything until very late in the game.
Justin says, Carrick dropped Garland with an open ice hit, and Marcus Pettersson stepped in. Pettersson gets 2 for roughing and 5 for fighting. Carrick 5 for fighting. I did see the fight.
Yeah.
Does that make sense now to you?
Yep. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. Garland just got hit at open ice. Frankly, looked like Garland made a pass and watched the pass, and Carrick just didn't move. He just planted himself it's not like he charged him. He planted himself at center ice and just rocked him. Marcus Pettersson went after him, got the instigator. Yeah. It wasn't a bad hit. It was just a really hard hit.
Yeah. You know, what's interesting is I was going to ask you about this, but I'll whet everyone's appetite. I was going to ask you about what you would have done if you had the game with JT Miller. I know Tyler's a big Miller fan, but apparently there weren't a lot of Miller chants, right? At all?
No. There was the first time he touched the puck, there was some light boos.
Okay.
Because it was just, a little. But then first or second commercial break, they did a video tribute and full standing ovation, like typical.
And I'm fine with that. Like if I was there, I'm not just saying this, Parker, I would not have cheered him. Like I recognize that he was a good player for us in the 6 years he was here, but he's playing for the other team. So I would boo or not do anything. I knew I boo Horvat, even though he was my favorite player. But then I would recognize, all the contributions and then go back to booing him. I think that's fine.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what should be done in those cases. We did get a "Let's Go Petey" chant after he threw a hit.
I heard one in Edmonton as well. Yeah, it just sounds like a 5-year-old kid, man. Let's go Pete. Okay, cool. Okay, so we were better in the third. Expected goals, you say a little generous, but they didn't. I guess whenever I looked up at the screen, Parker, at the bowling alley, they didn't seem like they were getting. You know how DeBrusque and Garland, Besser, they're really good about getting to the net, getting deflections. Kind of how they wanted to score that game tying goal. The slap pass, but I didn't see them in front of quick a lot. Maybe I was just looking up at the wrong times.
No, you're right. Everything was outside. Everything was to the point. And even from the point, it wasn't like a lot was getting through.
Right.
23 shots, right? That's the real story. Mm-hmm. It's not like a ton were blocked, right? 11 blocks for the Rangers tonight. There just wasn't a lot of offense created. Ton of credit to Lucas Reichel in this game. It's tough to say a guy's snake bitten after like 2 games with the team. I wish I had a shot attempts number. Canucks individual. Let me see here. Lucas Reichel. He had 4 scoring chances on his own. The Canucks as a team had 27 in all situations. So 4 of them were his, more than anyone else on the team. And that's at 5-on-5 only. Hold on here.
Sure.
So 5 in all situations. He missed the net a couple of times. He looked pretty good. He just couldn't score. But I genuinely think he's pretty quick. Like he looked pretty good. He's playing center basically. And I thought he looked fine.
Okay, good. Yeah, it was pretty crazy, right? He gets traded. Then I think either you missed a flight or something happened where he got in Saturday morning, plays against Montreal, no practice, plays against Edmonton, day off yesterday.
No practice, and then they just say, hey, you're playing 2C. Welcome to the club.
That too. And then no practice yesterday. Then a tough, almost like apparently a practice-like game day skate today, including a bag skate. And then, so 3 games and 4 nights for the newly acquired Lucas Reichel. And I can say this, everyone, if you haven't seen Parker's kind of in hibernation on his own channel. Like he puts Canucks After Dark as the priority, but he came out of hibernation. He did an awesome video. It's so funny. And Parker and I joke about this, the contrast in our videos. Mine was like, yeah, this guy's pretty good. He's fast. We need him. Let's go. And Parker's actually gets into analytics and actually explains what this guy can do. So to each his own, right? Put them together. We got like an amazing video. So check out Parker's video. You can look at mine if you want, but I blab about everything every single day. When you know Parker posts, then you know something special happened. So you were pumped about this trade.
Well, yeah, I in reality, it was Friday afternoon. I had finished up everything I needed to do for work. And I think it was right after lunch.
Right.
And I was like, so I was still kind of on lunch. I was like, I could take 10 minutes and I've barely heard of this guy. And then I type his name in and there's a bunch of articles that are like, the Canucks might trade for this guy. The Canucks might trade for this guy.
Yeah.
Like, this is what happens when you uninstall Twitter and Reddit from your phone and you get no updates anymore.
Yeah.
I was 10 minutes late to even start researching. I got a group chat message in my fantasy hockey group chat about it.
Yeah.
So I jumped on and did some research and tried to learn because I knew nothing about him basically. Right. I'd heard his name from draft previews years ago.
Yeah.
But I wanted to figure out, hey, what's this guy doing?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Too late for a prediction show because we already did our predictions. But if you had to bet or guess who scores first, Lucas Reichel or Vander Kane?
I'm taking Reichel. Now, interestingly enough, the only person who had more, actually he had more, barely, individual expected goals tonight than Evander Kane.
So Kane had a good expected goals today.
Yeah, but that's only offensively.
Right.
He had 8 shot attempts as well, Evander Kane. I don't know how many hit the net.
Yeah.
I guess that's something I can easily look. Let's look at the box score.
Well, he scored in this league before.
He had 1 shot on goal. So Evander Kane had 8 shot attempts and 1 hit the net.
Oh, that's like mean roller hockey.
Reichel had 5 shot attempts, 4 hit the net. So, he had the most shots on the team by far tonight.
Yep.
Hronek was a second at third, or at 3. The only problem with Lucas Reichel is they're trying to get him to take some faceoffs and he can't. He just can't win it. He was at 11.1% tonight, which I don't know the exact number, but I assume that's either 1 for 9 or 2 for 18.
Hopefully it's 1 for 9.
I think so. I think that's what it would be. Pettersson was 58% in the draw. Besser was 1 for 2. Sassa was like 3 for 4, 6 for 8. But yeah, Reichel cannot win faceoffs. I think he's just a winger.
What was their faceoff percentage, Parker? Do you have the actual total?
55-45 in favor of the Rangers.
Okay, not brutal, but not great, obviously. Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Okay. That was a good 15 minutes on that game that I didn't even watch. So thank you for taking care of that.
Happy to help.
Were you bored? Like, what was your emotion watching this?
Yeah, pretty much. I watched the first period and I was just kind of like sleepy and the game wasn't helping. Same with the second period, really. I really didn't get into this hockey game. I was looking forward to it. I was like, okay, it's JT Miller. It's going to be fiery. They're going to be going at each other. It's going to be interesting. Really, like the first 2 periods, I was like falling asleep on the couch. I was horizontal at one point. I was like, this is just... I was like, I'm not making it to 10:15. There's no way we're doing a show tonight.
Yeah, I was waiting for the text saying, I'm good. See you next Monday.
And then, third period or second intermission, I'm like, I'm just going to go for a walk around the block. And then I go outside, it's pouring rain. I went for a walk around the block, had a little bit more energy, and watched the third. And the third was a good period where they just couldn't score. But you can't play 20 minutes a night and expect to win when you have the talent level of this team, right? They could do that in 2011, which is what they did a lot of nights in 2011, right? They would just sit back, let it, get it to 1-1 going to the third, score a couple, go home. They don't have that talent level right now, especially with the amount of injuries they have. And I think that's the biggest storyline around this team at the moment is just how brutally injured this Canucks team is. And if they are now without Connor Garland for any length of time,
I count 8. I count 8 injuries.
8 is the correct number. You have.
Oh my.
So if you include Garland, who went out tonight, it is Garland, Hedel, Bluger, Lekkerimaki, Mancini, Höglander, and Forbert.
And Hughes. Yeah, 5. So
and
5.
Hughes, right.
5 forwards and 3 D-men. And some of those guys are pretty good. Yeah.
And technically Breezeball and Jet Wu are also hurt.
Oh my gosh.
So like you look at the guys who are missing, right? Like if you just put some pieces together, Garland, Hedel, Höglander, that's a second line.
Yep.
Worth of players, right? Lekkerimaki and Bluger Lekkerimaki and Bluger, again, like 2 solid depth pieces. Yep. Hughes, Mancini, and Forbert, that's 3 guys who could be in your NHL lineup any given night. Yep. But now you have guys like, P.O. Joseph and Tom Verlander having to play quite a few minutes. Like Verlander got 12 and a half minutes tonight. It honestly felt like he had more. P.O. Joseph had 15. Phil Hronek was a workhorse. He played 28 minutes and he looked pretty decent.
Wow.
But like it's getting thin back there. And it's getting the whole lineup's getting thin.
Well, let's end our chat about tonight's game with Verlander, right? Because I like him a lot. How did he do tonight? How did he look to you?
He made a bit of a mistake first or second shift where he held the puck a hair too long and then tried to force a little just a little 3-foot pass to a guy who was about to get run over. That wasn't great. But that's just again, no chemistry with the team, not knowing the guys. After that, frankly, I felt like he settled in fairly well. He was getting power play 2 minutes. A little bit. Like the last 25 seconds of the power play, he would come on for. He looked all right. He didn't look extremely out of place. I don't know analytically how he was. I can get quick numbers on that if we just go by. Let's just go Corsi. And where was he on the Corsi list? He was 60% on Corsi for the night and had a positive expected goals while he was on ice. He was fourth best on the team in expected goals and fifth best in Corsi. So while he was on the ice in all situations, I may just go 5-on-5 because I know he played. How much did he play on the power play? He played a minute 22 of power play time tonight. So a decent amount. You cut that out. He's 50-50 on Corsi, basically 50-50 across the board. He was decent. He was not the reason the Canucks lost by any means.
Okay. So I heard you talk glowingly, or at least positively, about Demko, Reichel, and Verlander, which is great. Two of our newest players, one solid veteran. And what I'm hearing mostly loud and clear is I don't have to bother watching this on my PVR. Is that fair to say, Parker?
No, you definitely don't. If you want to watch the third and be frustrated, you can. I don't think you'd be very well served. Catching up on this one.
No, thanks for looking out for me. That's awesome. Okay, so maybe a quick word about the Edmonton game because that was the second most recent and we won.
Yeah, and I watched the first period and I watched overtime because I had a hockey game at like 8:45 or something that night. I don't remember the exact time. 8:15. So yeah, we got off the ice at 9:30 and there was 3 minutes left in the third. So we were huddled up in the dressing room watching the overtime. But I did miss I watched the first and then I missed most of this game.
Yeah, so this game, I can talk for a couple minutes. I was at this game with my lovely wife, Gail. And after Bester opened the scoring on a beautiful you saw that behind the back pass from Kane. That was actually very nice. In the second period, it was a power play goal from PD, and it was neat. It was interesting because no Hughes, so they just kind of worked it around, and they kind of went Carlson, Garland, Hronek, kind of went around the whole circle while Bester was just kind of getting dizzy in the middle. So PD scores there on a one-timer from Hronek, which is nice. Right shot pass to PD, so it's a very quick pass. And then, so we're up 2-0. We're laughing. Then Draisaitl scores because Draisaitl's good, and we can't stop him. And Edmonton's so good cross ice. And then Sherwood could have had a 3 or 4. He had the one that got called back offside. He had the shorthanded chance in the first period. Beautiful drag move. And then this one, he completely undresses Matias Hucko. I'm sure you saw the replay. It was so good. It was so good. And then we're laughing. It's 3-1 going to the third. And then it felt exactly like the Montreal game, Parker, because Roslovic scores his first. So Roslovic, a guy we were linked to from Podkolzin, a guy that we drafted. So that was a Canuck kind of goal. And then they scored 5 minutes left. As Draisaitl again, and he's just so dangerous. They get going cross ice, and it's impossible to stop. But to their credit, they held on and shut all those Oilers fans up, which was amazing.
Yeah, Kiefer Sherwood has somehow been the best player on this team this year.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been particularly close. Like, if you think, who are the best players on this team? It's Quinn Hughes, it's Brock Besser, it's Thatcher Demko. Demko's been great. Hughes has struggled. Besser's been fine. Kiefer Sherwood, even tonight, had while he was on the ice, Canucks had the share of expected goals. They had the share of shots. He was third best on the team. Him and Ratu were the two best forwards tonight analytically, and Drew O'Connor gets a piece of that as well. And obviously that goes back to last game or the game against Edmonton because Sherwood has been their best player. And obviously he's a UFA, and he's got 6 goals already, and he's going to score like 30 or something dumb, and he's going to get paid $5 million a year.
See, I got so excited to talk about Sherwood in the game. I forgot to talk about the overtime winner, which, as I'm sure you saw, were 3 right-handed forwards after Petey, DeBrusque, and Hronek started. Yeah, then it's these 3 forwards. It's pretty funny, actually. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, we've seen some teams start to adopt the 3 forwards in overtime, and you know, when this team has sort of gone, they've sort of done like Hughes, Hronek, Hughes, Myers, Hughes, Hronek, Hughes. It's sort of been like the overtime deployment the last year, really. When Hughes isn't there, there's a hole. Now, Hronek has been better without Hughes in the lineup. Like he's filled that role fairly well. But once you're past him, I really didn't hate the idea of just saying, get 3 forwards out there and hope for the best. Because having Tyler Myers out there instead of someone else like a Sherwood or a Garland or a Besser or whoever you want to have out there, you're losing a decent bit of offensive potential. And defensively, he's still going to get walked by McDavid. Right? Like it doesn't matter.
Right.
So I didn't hate that deployment. It's a little more exciting. So it was fine by me.
Yeah. And it's interesting, Parker, as you probably figured out too, or you noticed with this stretch of 3 games and 4 nights, it's teams that have rabid fan bases. Like we all know what Montreal looks and sounds like, but there are a lot of Edmonton fans, as you can imagine, on Sunday. And I'm sure there are a lot of Rangers fans tonight. Like it's, I'm not saying people are going to go to watch the opponent play, but at least, and I know Nashville and Columbus and Carolina don't have these fan bases, but it was just interesting how all 3 were 3 of maybe the more popular teams in the league. So maybe it'll settle down next. I don't know. Yeah.
You got the 2 original 6 teams and the Oilers, which, you know, a lot of Alberta transplants here. So you're obviously going to get a big crowd. Now the Canucks go on the road for 3 games and they come back against Chicago, right? Like you're still going to have some opposing fans. You're going to have Bedard, which is going to bring some people in.
That's true.
And then Columbus, okay, maybe you don't have to worry about the opposing fans too much on that night.
I hope not.
But then you have Avs and Jets, and the Avs have picked up, and the Jets obviously you'll get a good number. So, it doesn't get much easier looking ahead. I mean, it's 2 games that we would come into the season and really looking ahead, like the next 2 games next 3 games on the road, games the Canucks should win. You are facing literally 6, 7, and 8 in the Central Division in the opposite order. I guess
really?
8, 7, and 6 in the Central Division on this road trip. They go to St. Louis, who is at the bottom of the Central, then Minnesota, who is 7th in the Central, then Nashville, who beat us this week, who is 6th in the Central. You have no excuse to lose any of those games, really. Now they will. They'll probably lose 1 just because, you know, that's how stats work. But it's 3 extremely winnable games. Then you come home and you get the bad Chicago Blackhawks and the bad Columbus Blue Jackets. You are teed up to win 5 in a row. And I'm worried that they won't win 3.
It's crazy. That's weird how we're playing. Yeah. The 4 Central Division teams next, the bottom 4. Yeah. You're right. We should win.
Because then it gets really hard. It's Colorado, Winnipeg, Carolina, Tampa, Florida, Dallas. Or your next 6 games after that. So you want to win a bunch here because you are going into an absolute gauntlet in the middle of November.
Yeah. And then remind me, St. Louis on Thursday, and then
St. Louis Thursday Minnesota. At 5, Minnesota Saturday at 4, and then Monday Canucks Predators at 5:30. So you'll have a post game with us again on Monday after that game. I guess 2 hours after that game.
Yeah. So only 3 games to wrap up next week as opposed to 5. Gotcha. Quick prediction of only 3 of the next 3. One's across. 1-1-1.
I'm gonna be optimistic and say 2-0-1, but I'm not. I don't know how much faith I'm putting in that.
I think the last time we did this, they went 3-0 or something. Oh no, it was never like that because they started their winning streak against Thursday, Dallas, Friday, Chicago, Sunday. Yeah, okay. All right, you got 2-0-1. I got 1-1-1. We both 3 or 5 points. Okay, we'll take it. Man, Man. There's a lot of people in the chat asking about Zacha. Pavel Zacha.
Yeah. It's tough, right? Like, we're in a spot where the Canucks are a middling team. And I think that's sort of what we expected them to be third or fourth in the division, sort of is where. And really, if you look at the division right now, the way it stands, you have Vegas at the top. That's probably where they're going to end up.
Yeah.
You have Seattle at 5-2-3.
No way.
They have a negative goal differential, and they're 5-2-3. they're a 500 team that is on pace for like 100 points.
Yeah.
That doesn't really work. They're going to fall off. The Kings, we sort of expect to be around the middle of the division with their big Cody Ceci signings and the other bad defenseman that I can't remember. And then you have the Oilers, who are 5-4-2, and they'll end up doing better than that. And then you have the Ducks, who are basically in line with the Canucks right now. You know they're not going to do well. The Sharks are 2-6-2. They're dead. Celebrini's fantastic, but he's their only player. And then you have the Flames, who are just absolutely cooked. They're already 2-8-1. They're so far behind the 8 ball. So really, Canucks are 3 points behind the Kings, 5 points behind Vegas, 2 points behind Edmonton. Like, they're still sort of in that mix. That's where we sort of expect them to be. And they're not like way outside of that at this point, but they need to get it together.
Yeah, Seattle's the surprise, obviously, for both of us. And we don't expect them to be there that long, because I think we both predicted Vancouver to finish third, right? Or fourth? Third.
I think so. I think third, because Vegas and Edmonton are going to be top 2. And then I really hate what LA has done the last couple of off seasons. Was it Ceci and Dumoulin? Is that who they signed? Or was that? Hold on.
No,
Kings,
it's someone else.
Puckpedia. Who did they waste all their money on? Depth chart. Let me see those defense. Yeah, Dumoulin. They're paying $4 million for 3 years.
Oh my gosh.
And he's not good anymore. And he's playing first pair with Drew Doughty with a combined age of 69. And then they paid Cody Ceci $4.5 million for 4 years this offseason as well. Like they're an old team, the Kings, right? Like, they've had this little resurgence lately, but Doughty's getting older. Their goaltenders are 35 and 32.
Yeah.
They signed Ceci and Dumoulin, who are combined 65 years old. They have Anze Kopitar, Hall of Famer. He's 38, right?
Yeah.
They're not young. They're like Corey Perry's on their fourth line. He's 40. They're just an old team that they're trying to do a bit of rebuilding with Brant Clark and Quentin Byfield, and they're great players, and Kempe's obviously been very good to start the year, but they're just going to age out, especially like looking at their goaltending. Darcy Kemper's 35, and he's been not very good to start the season. So I expect the Kings to end up somewhere in the 90-point range.
What an old team. Like, you just kept running a litany of guys that are 35 and over.
They're a very old team. They've got a few young guys, right? Byfield, Laferriere, Turcotte, Byfield. And Mikey Anderson, I guess, on their third pair.
Sure.
But like, everyone else is 30 or older. So
okay. I didn't expect them to, and not like they're running away. They're 5-3-3. They're technically one game under 500, but not an NHL 500. Okay. So I agree with you. At the end of the day, Vegas and Edmonton should be battling, and then we should be able to battle for third or fourth and at least get a wild card spot, if not better.
It's going to be Vegas and Edmonton battling for 1-2, and it should be us and LA battling for 3-4.
Sure.
Because I like the Kraken. I just don't see competing for a long period of time. I like Joey Decord. He's been very good. And they have some good players, but like, the Ducks just aren't going to be competitive, and the Sharks and Flames have, like, Macklin Celebrini has been so unbelievably good to start the season, and they're 2-6-2.
Yeah.
Like, he can't do it all. He's going to drop off a bit.
Sure.
And they're just going to fall apart.
So You mentioned Joey Daccord, so then it reminds me of how he made it to the U.S. Preliminary roster, or at least the invitation camp, over Demko, behind, of course, the big three of Ottinger, Hellebuck, and Swayman. So I'm not even asking if you think Demko is going to make the team. I'm asking, do you want him to make the team? Or would you rather him? No.
No. And if this team, it's a tough one, because if this team is like third or fourth in the division come that time of year, with all the injury history, like you don't want him. For the Canucks to be in a decent spot, he will have to have played well enough to be in consideration, unfortunately.
It's a catch. You're right. It's catch 22.
Unless Pettersson has 100 points by the Olympic break, which I don't see. So it's a tricky spot.
Both of our goalies could be in the Olympics. Right?
The thing is, if he makes it, if he can make it as like a third string and he plays one prelim game, cool. Go get a medal, right? Hopefully it's a bronze. But Hellebuck is going to be the American Olympic goalie, right? Like, and if he's healthy, there's no shot it's anyone else. Yeah. And then it's probably Demko Ottinger as your 2-3, and if Ottinger gets it together this year, but Hellebuck is getting every game if he's healthy.
Yeah, no, yeah. Winnipeg's off just 7-3.
Unless they're playing Latvia, right?
Right.
That would be his night off.
But there could be, you're right. Demko will not unseat Hellebuck as the number one, but he could make the team, and then we could have both our goalies at the Olympics, right? Lankinen for Finland, probably second behind Saros. Well, who knows, actually. What's that Uka Puka Luka guy or whatever?
Uka-Pekka Luukkonen? Yeah,
that guy,
He's pretty solid.
Yeah, so we'll see. No rest for the wicked, potentially, for the Vancouver Canucks goalies. Yeah. Okay. One more question from me, just because we haven't talked about it. Adam Foote, what do you think of the job he's doing so far?
I don't feel much difference yet.
Okay.
The shot totals feel fairly similar.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it doesn't feel like they're creating a ton offensively. It doesn't feel like let me just look here. I want all situations, home and away. So looking at shot totals for every game this year so far, 26-15. That was that first Oilers game. That was a disaster. Yeah. 29, 26, 32, 24, 24, 22, 31, 27, 23. Now, I don't have, I guess I can just download the spreadsheet of this and get the average of those numbers really easily from Excel. If I just highlight all of those, where's shots? There's shots. So the Canucks are averaging 25 shots a game, 25. Essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And are averaging about 3 expected goals for and 3.5 expected goals against.
Okay.
That's not great, right? They're on the negative side of things, across the board. Like high danger chances, they've had 134 high danger chances this year and allowed 156. That's where I start to get the concern from, right? Because their goals for versus goals against, they're 28-33. Which again is on the negative side, but it's not like, they've had bad puck luck, right? Their PDO is 0.995, dead perfect. Their shooting percentage is at like 10%, their save percentage is at like 90%. Like it's everything that's sort of been supposed to happen with the team based on the way they've been playing so far has been what's happened. And that's concerning because I'm not seeing that big change that I was hoping for. And maybe one of the reasons that maybe I wasn't necessarily cheering for Adam Foote to get the job.
You know what's really funny? At 25.4 shots per game, they're only more than 4 other teams. One of them I know you'll guess because
Philadelphia.
Yeah, exactly. Philadelphia is the worst. Then you've already mentioned the second worst team. The team that you said is useless, except they have one really good player right now.
Which is San Jose.
Yeah, very good. Okay, you're going to nail this. There's 2 more. You're not cheating, right? You're not looking this up?
Nope, not yet. Okay. I was going to, but I won't.
Okay, so you've nailed Philadelphia's last, San Jose second last, and there's 2 more before the Canucks. One of them is also a team with youngsters, but haven't got through yet. And the other one is a team that's ahead of us. Think worse. Youngsters.
Chicago?
Yes, very good. And finally, the team right below us is a team that's higher than us in the Pacific Division, but we don't think they should be there.
Anaheim?
The other one.
Oh, Seattle.
Yes. So we only have more shots than Seattle, Chicago, San Jose, and Philly.
Now, what about shots against? Are we preventing?
Okay, here we go. We are. I went from high to low. That makes us look better. From low to high, we are 22nd in the league. So in the bottom third, we are allowing 29.5 shots a game, but that's 22nd in the league.
Okay, yeah, I've got. Let me just do 5-on-5, and I'm going to see if those numbers match up because I can do that here on Natural Stat Trick. Yeah. So shots for at 5-on-5, we are 8th worst.
Okay, 5th worst overall.
Ahead of the Dallas Stars.
Oh,
but the Dallas Stars have also allowed way fewer shots against.
Right.
In terms of shots against, we are 3rd worst.
Oh my gosh.
Not great. In terms of percentage, very simply, shots for divided by shots against.
Yep.
There are 3 teams worse than the Canucks at 5-on-5. One of them you will never guess because the Winnipeg Jets.
What?
Who have 169 shots for, 234 against. But guess who they have in net? It's Seattle and San Jose, and then us. And then ahead of us, it's the very good Pittsburgh Penguins and Chicago Blackhawks and Nashville Predators. It's tough to see where the ramp up is going to come from because our health has gotten worse. It's not like we've been playing against fantastic teams, and the stats are like the deserve to win a meter that we've seen before is sort of falling right where the Canucks have been so far.
Yeah. And look at the standings, just because you talk about that, because as soon as you said Pittsburgh, they're so surprising, right? They're 7-2-2. I can't believe that Montreal and Toronto are in the top. Well, there's a drop off though, but Montreal's winning the Atlantic right now. I know it's early, but still, wow.
Yeah, it is early. Montreal's got some. They've got some juice. Like they've got some young guys who are really fun to watch.
Demidov's crazy, man.
Demidov, Hudson, and Caulfield, of course. Like.
Slavkovsky, they're good.
Has been unbelievable. Like they've had everything go their way early. And look, they're an Eastern Conference team. I would love if they made the playoffs, right? Like if I had to have a 4th favorite team, it's probably Montreal.
Why? Who are the other 2?
I don't know. I just picked a number.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Who is your second favorite team?
It was Ottawa growing up for no real reason other than I liked Spezza a lot.
Well, that's weird. Interesting.
I had like the mini stick set that had all the Canadian teams, and the Toronto one we broke, and then the Ottawa one was the one. It was. I like the Canadian teams that are in the East because I just don't care about them, and they're not Toronto. Correct. So Ottawa and Montreal are probably my 2-3, but I think I like Montreal more than Ottawa now. But
Montreal's a safe pick. Yeah, they looked very dangerous for that 5 minutes slot.
But it changes all the time because like I really liked Florida like 2 years ago when they were beating Boston, and now I really don't like Florida. Like a team like Colorado, who's been really good and are in our conference, I really like them because I just love watching them. So it fluctuates.
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg's up there.
Winnipeg, Tampa, Colorado are my 3 favorite after the Canucks, obviously. Yeah. Wow, that was good. That was a quick 50 minutes, actually. Do you want to do about 5 minutes of people?
Let's do it. And it's bedtime.
Right. 5 minutes. This is past Parker. This is actually the time we cut off our regular show. So Parker's giving us 5 minutes extra. Let's go. We got 5 minutes of your questions. Thanks everyone for finding us on Tuesday night. We recognize the numbers go down on a Tuesday when we don't have our regular Monday night slot, but we just couldn't do it last night. But back to normal next week. We promise. Mm-hmm. All right. What questions do you have for us?
Oh, you can filter on. Oh, I can't actually filter on questions. But I can see questions. Like questions get the little icon on our side chat here. Well, Taylor asks, can you still see the Canucks going to the playoffs? Very simple question. Can I? Yes. Do I? 50-50.
Okay, I'll still go yes and yes. Before Garland getting injured, you think it might be worth making Evander Kane a healthy scratch? That's an expensive healthy scratch.
Oh, man. He hasn't looked good. Very simply. He's had, like again, took another bad penalty tonight that just was avoidable, right? Just sticking the hands in the offensive zone. It's becoming a pattern. He's got 4 points in 11 games. They're all assists. They haven't been like, anything remarkably impressive. Wow, tonight was his 1200th penalty minute.
Wow, that's impressive.
That's impressive. That's a lot. But yeah, like, we're not seeing like the big physical, like he's doing some stuff physically, but not necessarily in like the best way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not loving the Evander Kane experience so far. Now, I do want to look at his analytics here.
Sure.
Now, I don't know if there's a great way to do that, but I think I can figure it out. Oh, wow. This list is everybody. Okay, Evander Kane.
Okay, while you're doing that, Brother says, would you guys prefer us to try to rebuild? I'll say this while Parker's looking that up really quickly. If Hughes isn't going to resign, it's interesting because you could use that to get a lot of assets and rebuild, but you could also actually get some win now assets by trading Hughes. So I just think the question is moot because while Aquilini owns his team, I don't think we're ever going to see a rebuild. And that's the whole reason why Benning and Linden were always fighting, right?
Yep. And you're not going to get a Quinn Hughes back if you trade Quinn Hughes.
Yeah,
you're going to get a couple of firsts, and you're going to get some good prospects that will turn out to be second line caliber at best. And, you're going to be worse off for it. Mm-hmm. And it'll be miserable.
Yeah. Did you find that Kane number?
I didn't really know exactly what I was looking for, to be honest. He's 500th in the league in expected goals, but
okay.
I don't know if that really means that much.
Yeah, very good. All right, 2 more minutes, guys. Pump us with questions. We'll answer them quickly for 2 minutes. Then Parker got to get his beauty sleep.
Wouldn't it be nice if we kept Pius Suter instead of Vander Kane?
Wow, what happened there? Yeah, we have enough wingers. Yeah, no, we're kind of short. Brother, Parker did talk about Lucas Reichel a little bit earlier. Yeah, and we talked about he's going to score soon. He's looked good, and this was no practice time thrust into a second line center role. So, having said all that, for a 23-year-old, he's handled it very, very well.
Yeah, he's just not a center. He's just not a center. But he is quick. He's like, I watched Drew O'Connor, where he's quick and he's big, but he never really feels like he's in the right spot. Yeah. Reichel got himself to the right spots tonight and missed the net once, and then had 4 shots on net that were stopped, but he created more offensively than almost anyone tonight, which is it's getting a bit concerning where it's like tonight, oh wow, Lucas Reichel was one of our best players. Okay, let's go back in time. The Edmonton game. Okay, Kiefer Sherwood was our best player. Okay, like keep going back, right? Like, when is it going to be Brock Besser was our best player? Elias Pettersson was our best player.
Montreal PD was our best player.
Okay,
fair. To be fair,
when's Quinn Hughes going to be our best player this year?
Fair,
when is he going to play this year? When we watch the Canucks go against the Oilers, for example.
Yep.
Every single time, you haven't really had a night where you're like, man, McDavid just wasn't really there tonight. A Draisaitl, he just didn't really have an impact tonight. It's like, no, every time they were on the ice, we were scared because they are scary players. You go against Colorado, you're like, Makar was invisible tonight. McKinnon just didn't do anything. Like, you just don't see that.
That's true.
Where it feels like with our current systems and this group, like we're having those nights, which is frustrating.
Yeah. No, that's fair. And it speaks to both the fact that our best players haven't been our best players yet. They were when we were winning games, along with Garland and Sherwood. But we don't have as many best players as other teams do too. And that's why we suffer so much when our best player is out, as we've seen today it was very noticeable. We kind of snuck past Edmonton on Sunday. So come back, Quinn. That's, I think, the moral of the story. Come back, Quinn.
Yeah. And he's looked frustrated when he has been playing, which is concerning.
Yeah. I'm with you. All right, back to normal next week.
Normal, Monday, 10 p.m. post-game after the Preds. Hopefully 3 wins against the lowly Central teams. Because, look, while they're not in our division, I guess I'm not really worried about Chicago and making it. But Minnesota was kind of close last year. Nashville, we played them in the first round 2 years ago. These are, in the old CFL crossover, these are teams you could be playing once we get into the playoffs, or at least, sort of fighting for the 8th seed against or wild card 2.
That's a great.
So big games.
That's a really good point. We'll end with this one. Smiley Hello says, with Connor out, Besser took a puck to the face. If those 2 guys are injured, God forbid, who is the next man up? I'm looking at the Abbotsford roster. Guys that can come up. Klimovich, Josh Bloom, Joe LeBate, Chase Stillman, Ty Mueller. I guess
who's on the waiver wire right now? That's where I'd start looking.
Kravtsov. Kravtsov can come back up.
Okay.
It's not great. That's the point. It's not great.
No, it's not. It's thin. Like, who's playing in Abbotsford right now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do they have any players left? Like, they gotta be running low. Like, I'm looking at the minors list, and it only has 9 forwards on it on Puckpedia and 2 defensemen. 4 goalies. They're doing fine there, but they only have 2 defensemen.
I'm looking at Abbotsford's. I'm trying to find their latest box score just to see who played. Okay, so they played last night. I can't even find it. I don't know.
Yeah, the AHL. You go to AHL.com. They usually have box scores. Just the individual team ones don't for some reason.
Yeah.
AHL.com is not their website, apparently.
AHL hockey, isn't it?
The AHL.com. They couldn't get AHL.com. Come on. They got shut out last night. Okay. Abbotsford Canucks. You had Joe Arntzen on defense. Jaden Lee on defense.
Oh, yeah.
Sawyer Minio. Jimmy Schultz. Derek Dashke. And Nikolai Nijov. So they had 2 defensemen I've ever heard of last night.
Yeah. Forwards a little bit better. Names like Chase Waters and Joe LeBate, Klimovich, Ty Mueller.
I don't know who Dino Cambeats is, or Ben Berard, or Arnaud Durando.
Ben Berard sounds like a writer or something. Hey, how about Cooper Walker? He's good, man. Cooper Walker.
Or Henri Ravinsky's. So
we shouldn't make fun of these. We're not making. Granted, we're not making fun of these players.
What I'm making fun of is that we have so many injuries that they are having to call up probably guys, I'm imagining, from Kalamazoo or just like, I don't know, ATOs. I don't know how that works in the AHL when your major league team has 8 guys out.
So to answer Helen's question, I'd say next man up for me, who Arlickson looked good in preseason, right? The monster. I think Kravtsov has actually NHL familiarity, and you can bring LeBate back up. So those are the 3 for me, and maybe Ty Mueller with an outside shot. Those are the next 4.
Yeah,
I can't believe
at least on the forward side, there's guys.
The
LeBate is probably the, if you just want a guy to play 4th line and play 8 minutes, that's probably
and don't forget
Neil
Zaman is a healthy scratch, so he's technically next man up. So.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. On that very positive note.
Yeah. All right, folks, if you missed any part of the show, you can rewind back to the beginning here. You can find it on your favorite podcast platform in a matter of about 15 minutes or so. We'll be back next Monday at 10 o'clock, post-game after the Canucks and, was it Predators on Monday?
That sounds right.
The number 6 team in the Central. So a big matchup. I was going to try to name one player on the Nashville Predators, and I couldn't.
Stamkos.
Oh yeah, I guess so. That doesn't count. He's Tampa Bay. So we'll be back next Monday. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all that good stuff. You're doing something in 15 minutes? On
Yeah,
your
just
channel?
open house. But when there's a game night, or I mean, sorry, anytime I do a show after Canucks After Dark, we've already exhausted everything. So I just let other people talk. So yeah, anyone wants to join me in 15 minutes on my channel, going to bring you on the show and you can talk for as long as you want tonight.
Excellent. Like I said, we'll be back next week. Hit subscribe, do all that good stuff. Other than that, hopefully the Canucks will be 8-6 next time we catch up. Probably not. We'll see you. Or wait, do you have any parting words? That's what I normally say here.
That's all right. Thank you for watching the game and being able to analyze it so well. And yeah, let's see how they do in the romp through the Central Division, the dwellers of the Central Division.
Excellent. All right, folks. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night, and we will see you next week.